As I told before, we have only 55 minutes to do all the discussion with all of you. So what I like to do is just give you some question. We are not able, of course, to cover all the topics. The topic is, as you can see, artificial intelligence and blockchain is a very broad theme, so it's really impossible to go through. But we want just to understand how we are in this level, with the use of these technologies, to understand the perception, and we will try to, with the help of the panelists, to go a little inside. It's a pity we will not have more time in order to get some question from you, but I hope that the question I will pose will cover also your curiosity. So I will start with Marc Bernegger. So are the crypto assets here to stay?
Yeah, good morning everybody. I'm Marc, nice to be here. I'm in the crypto space since 2012. Back then it was more about tech geeks which were using these new ways of transferring money and storing money. And I'm personally completely sure that we see crypto assets as a new asset class, as a diversification of traditional portfolios. I'm among others in the board of a company called Crypto Finance Group, where we help institutional investors to move into this space. And the interesting thing is that I think we never saw so many relevant activities in the last few months. It's not reflected in the price of Bitcoin, but I think in the last few months we saw some of the most interesting things in this space. A lot of very traditional, very old school players are joining this whole new exciting crypto asset class. And that's why I think it's far more than just a hype. I founded my first tech company in 1999, and it feels very similar. Back then, after the dot-com bubble bursted, a lot of people said this internet thing, that's a temporary phenomenon. And I'm very, very sure that we have exactly the same setup when it comes to cryptocurrencies. So let's see, in a year from now, we will be here again, and I think we will have a far more sophisticated market.
Thank you very much. So now, Mr. De Bruin, we have spoken a lot in these last 2 years of blockchain. So, from your perspective as a leader operator in Europe and also overseas, could you do some real working examples and their effectiveness in the business?
Yeah, thank you very much, Paolo, and thank you for being here. Yes, it's great to hear what Marcos just said, what's happening in the crypto space. IBM is much more in the business space. That's really our focus. So our focus also on business blockchains, permissioned blockchains, mainly using Hyperledger. And over the past few years, we've seen quite a few of the initiatives that we've been involved in turn live. They're real operational blockchains. A good example of this is our cooperation with Maersk. It's called TradeLens, and it's an operational blockchain that is now working for more than half a year. More than 100 ports are connected, hundreds of millions of transactions taking place all the time. So it's a real trusted platform that enables very complex processes that before have not been orchestrated to function much more efficiently through the TradeLens blockchain. That's one example. Another very important one that many may be aware of and that concerns everybody really is IBM Food Trust, a blockchain project that started with large companies such as Walmart in the food space. It's all about traceability, restoring trust in food, certification management, all that sort of thing. And many parties are taking part of that, also very large numbers of transactions taking place. Leafy vegetables being tracked. Carrefour here in Europe plans to do it also for chicken, to start with in the Spanish market. So that's another very concrete operational blockchain that is live for already more than 3 years. There is a blockchain that we have operated under the name dispute resolution. It works in a logistics environment where logistics partners and providers of hardware, computers, etc., resolve small problems, such as, for instance, wrong address, which can lead to returns of products that takes up to, on average, 40 days to be resolved in a matter of sometimes even seconds, sometimes days, but a drastic improvement. This is one that's also we've been working for a long time, and there are many more examples like this. So it's not anymore a hype. We've gone past the hype. We've gone into reality. We also run into very serious challenges, but we have been able to surmount them. So that's the wonderful thing. We're getting there. So blockchain is just as real in permission business environment as it has been in crypto for a bit a longer while.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks a lot. Now I will ask to Mr. Giorgio De Carlo, which is, according to you, the perception that citizens has from blockchain?
Good morning. As I am not confident in English, I continue in Italian.
There will be a translation immediately after.
Yes, of course. Qui noi ci troviamo in un'isola felice in questo momento parlando di blockchain.
We are here in a happy island when we speak about blockchain today.
Perché c'è un mondo al di fuori dove di blockchain si parla poco e male.
Outside there's a world where they're speaking about blockchain, it's just a little bit and badly.
Sono anni che noi compiamo ricerche sulla blockchain. La buona notizia è che ogni anno nel corso del tempo migliora la percezione e la conoscenza del tema.
We are years that we are researching about the perception about blockchain, but every year the perception is becoming better.
La cattiva notizia è che siamo ancora molto indietro per quanto riguarda, diciamo, la popolazione media e la conoscenza e percezione è diffusa a macchia di leopardo ed è ancora molto bassa.
The bad news actually is the knowledge is still very low and it's scattered across the different areas and population, and it's anyway low.
Certo, ho visto dei sondaggi in cui si chiedeva se conosci la blockchain e il 90% delle intervistate rispondeva di sì.
In many surveys, when people were asked, do you know blockchain, 90% will say yes.
Ma sono dei risultati sbagliati. Primo perché si cerca di rispondere, di dare una risposta socialmente accettabile e quindi uno difficilmente dice di non conoscere la blockchain. E il secondo è che la domanda è troppo vaga.
But this is not the right answer. It's the wrong answer because 90% of the people are saying this answer because it's too vague, the question, and second, people are trying to give a socially acceptable answer.
Normalmente la percentuale di chi conosce bene la blockchain varia dal 7 al 15% sulla popolazione europea e americana rispetto alla quale noi facciamo indagini.
In America and Europe, where we are making our research, between from 7-15%, we have a good knowledge about blockchain.
Abbiamo poi un altro dato interessante: quando abbiamo intervistato dei dirigenti d'azienda, vediamo come il 63% di questi dichiari di non conoscere bene la blockchain.
When we ask a company executive, 63% are saying they don't know very well blockchain.
Il 30% di conoscerla abbastanza,
30% enough,
e il 7% di conoscerla molto bene.
7% says that they know it very well.
In un altro caso, sempre dirigenti d'azienda, riferiscono in una percentuale tra il 20 e il 30% di essere sicuri che la blockchain non viene comunicata bene alla popolazione.
In another question, there are 30% of the same population of company executives say that blockchain is not well communicated to the population.
Naturalmente si tratta di un tema appunto a macchia di leopardo, perché ci sono zone come l'Europa del Nord o gli Stati Uniti dove è molto più forte la conoscenza e l'Europa invece mediterranea dove è più bassa.
This is aggregated data, but in reality it's scattered. The answers are scattered. There are areas where the knowledge is much higher, like North Europe and America, and other part of Europe where it is not.
Ultimo aspetto è quello relativo al fatto che non si sa bene con certezza esattamente la blockchain che cosa fa, ovvero viene confusa spesso e volentieri con il Bitcoin.
Another thing is that most of the people, they don't know exactly what is blockchain too, but mostly they are confusing blockchain with Bitcoin.
E si dimenticano tutti gli aspetti positivi in campo sanitario, logistico, dei trasporti, eccetera, che la blockchain sta già innescando.
And they are forgetting about all the possibilities and uses of blockchain in transport, in health, in other areas that is already in use.
Concludo dicendo che comunque abbiamo una grande speranza, perché da una ultima ricerca vediamo come nel mondo gli studenti under 20, under 25 sono coloro i quali hanno una grande conoscenza e grande propensione all'utilizzo della blockchain in futuro.
But we have hope for a better future because we have population and students below 25. They have a very better knowledge about blockchain and about its future application.
Quindi la conoscenza e la diffusione del concetto di blockchain lentamente sta sviluppandosi e avremo entro una decina d'anni proprio una compiuta diffusione e maturità della blockchain.
So there's hope because in the next 10 years we will have a better development and better knowledge about blockchain across all our population.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you. Now I would like to ask to Mr. Metzger. So of course we understand there is an evolution. We understand we have already real implementation of the blockchain in the real world, not only in the virtual one. Of course, all these things could affect the actual way of working. So, how do you think there will be the blockchain will have a disrupting effect on the financial industry?
I believe we are at a tipping point here, where the financial industry is emerging into, or there's an evolution, how you said, into something completely new. And what's so exciting is that the future is already here. It's not just widely distributed yet. And I think when we talk to a lot of leaders here at the World Economic Forum, we often speak about what we call the digital leaders formula, which is basically looking at digital technology trends and how they emerge in different phases and what kind of life cycles they have. And when we talk about blockchain technology especially, we can adapt it digital leaders formula as well. And let me explain it to you. So at the core is the technology itself, the technology evolution. And that's what we've seen at artificial intelligence, at blockchain. There's a proof of concept everybody knows. It's here. It's an invention, and we can, when you talk to engineers, you can also easily predict what will be coming up. So you know there's a next evolution of a blockchain. There's a Ethereum new version coming up. Proof of stake will be introduced, and that will be happening. But what we don't know are three factors around. So at the core is the technology, but around is the leadership, digital leadership, and that's often here the question. Do the leaders take the right decisions? Are they brave enough? Are they embracing these trends, or are they blocking it? And what I see in the financial world at the moment is a lot of resistance. They are kind of building hurdles rather than overcoming them. And a second part is society, because everybody needs to have users, clients, and customers. So we're not sure how they will embrace it and adapt it. And ultimately, as an entrepreneur, you want to build something which everybody's using. So what we've seen in the first 10 years of blockchain evolution since the white paper 2008 is a lot of adapting to what the users really want. And then the last element is the business model itself. And if you look at the financial industry also, I feel that a lot of companies are not even ready to embrace the blockchain technology and adapt their business models. And what we see now in kind of a bear market is a lot of washout, a lot of companies who probably are good in kind of getting a future right, but they don't build any sustainable business. So they can't survive a longer period of kind of building the real infrastructure. So that's the digital leaders formula, the core technology, society, the leadership, and the business model around. And we at LCX, we are building one of the key infrastructures. We're proud to be a member of the 4th Industrial Revolution Centers from the World Economic Forum, and we're working with central banks and other financial institutions to build this key infrastructure which we need to create sustainable impact coming out of this technology innovation. So everybody knows blockchain is here, it's here to stay, but nobody knows who will be the next big player in that. So currently, as I said, the last 10 years had been kind of a proof of concept, coming out of a Wild West, unregulated market, kind of gray markets emerged, but the impact had been already here, everybody felt that. And it's impressive also to see kind of key leaders who are currently in that field. And one of them we're working closely together is Binance. Binance is kind of a key market player at the moment, the leading exchange, and they're already showcasing how profitable a business can be, how you work with the community to build something everybody wants. But now the question for us is really how to turn this into something which is in a regulated environment, working with financial institutions and take it from the first evolution of technology into the next 5 to 10 years, and how to emerge and build something which really is disrupting the financial industry as we know it.
Thank you, thank you. Is there before going to artificial intelligence, is there a question on blockchain? Very quick one.
Yes. First of all, thank you very much for your contribution. But
Is there a micro? Thank you.
thank you. So first of all, thank you very much for your contributions. But I want to be provocative, and I would like to ask you. Cyber criminals understood in 2008 the power of blockchain, because Bitcoin and blockchain allowed them to make a lot of money since 2008. Mm-hmm. Today we are in 2019, and the only big use case, successful use case about blockchains is still the Bitcoin, because we don't see in Switzerland, I'm talking about Switzerland, another successfully case where blockchain was applied. So you don't think that until the CEO or the society still perceive the blockchain as a technicality, blockchain will remain something about dreamers, instead of thinking about blockchain in terms of processes, so cultural processes, societal processes? What do you think about it?
Well, I see that the question always comes up. It's about getting the balance right between all the risks and skepticism which is in the market. But when you talk to decision makers in the field, they already understand the high potential, and we are big believers in that as well. So it's much beyond what Bitcoin is there. There are efficiencies in all different kind of industries, which we see in blockchain technology in general, from logistics, healthcare, and others. But especially in the financial world, we see there's a potential to build really a new monetary system, a kind of a decentralized and distributed monetary system where even central bankers and countries could think about how to create a much more efficient way of using currencies, money, transactions on a global level. Think about it as in the early internet days, there always had been a lot of hackers and people using it for a lot of bad things. But now we're right at this tipping point, where I explained that there's a lot of investment going into how to create the same efficiencies for regulated markets, for financial institutions, for countries, and for central banks.
Yeah, yes, thank you for putting it so provocatively and very well put, Monty. Yeah, Bitcoin is, of course, the first application of blockchain, and therefore it stays in the mind. It has something mythical, etc. But there are very everyday solutions, like the ones I mentioned, food trust, trade lands in logistics. WeTrade is one already working between banks, which is an operational blockchain to facilitate trade. There are more mundane, perhaps, and less speaking to the excitement and fantasy like Bitcoin, but it's really becoming a mainstream technology that has major impact. So we're well beyond just the Bitcoin, but thanks for putting it so provocatively.
Maybe just to add one...
I agree to a certain extent, but I mean, like in the early days of the internet, ultimately nobody cares about technology. I mean, I think as long as we talk about blockchain as a technology, it didn't really reach the mass adoption because everybody of us is using the internet, and I would say, and I don't know all of you, but nobody really understands in detail how the internet works, and that's also not necessary, right? So I think as long as we're talking about blockchain as a technology, we're not there yet.
Until it becomes a commodity.
Exactly. It should be just, there are not the real use cases yet, but as we already heard, there's so many obvious cases, and not everything which could be on the blockchain makes sense, right? So I think we have to identify the real use cases, but we're not there yet.
What really drives this change is actually where can we create efficiencies? Because not everything makes sense, as Marc said, but we are in Liechtenstein because of the opportunity of tokenization of financial assets. Because of the new Blockchain Act and the laws which are introduced over there, it's fantastic that we can see that a lot of these financial assets, which are basically paper-based documents, any like securities, debt, loans, could be put onto the efficiency of a token and then sent from one owner to another, like sending an email. But the difference is the whole ownership, including all the contracts, goes within the token. So we see a lot of efficiencies there, and the big question is the security token offerings, which are currently in the market. But I don't think there will be a lot of impact, because most of these security token offerings which are there are from startups. So if you're an early stage venture investor, it's great because you can invest there. But I think the impact will come when financial institutions are really taking something which is paper-based and now digitalize it and transform it into something with the efficiency of a token, and that comes with the tokenization.
Two quick questions more. There was before the...
Here.
Yep. Very quick, and one will answer, not more.
Quick question. Cybercrime has arrived on the blockchain. How secure is blockchain? Number two, are there some cyber security concerns that the blockchain ecosystem need to take into consideration now? And should that be embedded in legal frameworks? I'm Pavan Dugal. I'm heading the Blockchain Law Epicenter in New Delhi. I'm an attorney in the Supreme Court of India.
Thank you. Who?
I'm happy to take that. Yeah. Thank you.
Very quick.
Yeah. Yes, very quick. So, there a very quick answer to a very complicated question.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
So, although I'm not really speaking on behalf of the crypto community, I want to state that the most of the crypto crime around Bitcoin, practically, I think 100% of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, was not really on the blockchain itself. It is on the outside. Blockchain has proven to be extremely resilient against cybercrime itself. It still opens up, like any tool you can be used for all sorts of things, but Bitcoin has been incredibly resilient itself. There has not been one double transaction or Bitcoins created that shouldn't be created. So just for that. On the other hand, what we are doing in the permission blockchain space, the business blockchain space, it also proves to be extremely resilient. Parties are working together that didn't even know each other before and didn't trust each other before, but because of the mechanism of blockchain, they do. And that is really proving that the cybercrime opportunity in blockchain is enormously reduced. I don't say it's zero. There is a lot of other opportunities to do crime always around blockchain, sometimes invading it, but that is business as usual, and we have tackled that. So there is absolutely less opportunity to perform cybercrime in a blockchain environment than without. I don't say it's zero, but it's definitely
short answer to that is that there's
No, it was
crypto.
one to reply.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I just want to add. So you also spoke of cybersecurity. Of course, as was said, the blockchain has been designed to be from design security. Okay, security by design. But any things that comes in and out, in each entry point or exit point, you have to check the security. Otherwise, you cannot repudiate anymore. So this is the big point of blockchain. So you cannot put a blockchain in an unsafe world. Must be first of all a safe world, then you can put inside something that is completely safe. Otherwise, there are unsafe things that come inside and are certified. Okay, so there was just a last question, but very quick, and then we go to artificial intelligence.
I have a comment on the cybersecurity as well.
Okay.
I mean, the blockchain in itself is not, let's say, that easy to hack. It is the people who leave their private keys unattended is what makes the hacking so easy. Because blockchain empowers people to take more control over their own assets. So that is also one of the reasons why we see so many hacking. My quick question to Louis is, when you go to businesses and when you tell them that they have to use blockchain or they should use blockchain, what are the concrete business benefits that they buy into? Revenue, profit, or market share? Only out of these three, and how do you translate that into numbers, literally numbers?
Okay, but he will reply, he already spoke.
Okay.
I guess it's good how you do it.
There you go.
I think he knows far more about it, so
Okay.
that's why, if it's okay for you,
If you pass.
it makes sense if you answer this question.
It's up to you if you pass.
You're trying to put me into a box that I don't let myself being put into. No, we don't really work on that basis. We want it transforms business.
Yeah.
Change, and sometimes it changes roles of companies and organizations completely. So it even happens that we have parties joining blockchain that know that by doing so they have a negative business case, but they know by not doing it they will have no business case at all. So it changes businesses. So that's the short answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So I think that of course, we in this changing world, we need to rethink completely the processes we use. So, doing this examination, it could be that blockchain is not the solution. We need to redesign, digitalize the processes, and so on. But not everything can be blockchained. This must be very clear. So let's go now to artificial intelligence. And I will ask to Inigo Merino from SIP, Spain, which is the perception of the C-level in artificial intelligence?
It's an interesting question, to be honest, because I feel that we have here a very good example. All of you are C-level executive or owner of a big company or a medium company, and you come to here, you listen blockchain, you listen artificial intelligence, you listen machine learning, different kind of technologies. And what is going to happen the next week? You will go to your IT health department and you say, we need to implement a blockchain project. And you can imagine the face of this person. Something like, what? For what? Where? What is going to be the business value that implement blockchain or whatever technology that you think in this process? And our mission in SAP is to try to understand what are the business challenges that you want to face. And sometimes you don't need to implement blockchain. And to be honest, I don't know a lot of examples of real value business processes that you can implement blockchain. Or for example, artificial intelligence. No, we want to fire thousands of employees and put an artificial intelligence. Something like, come on, this is not like Terminator. Artificial intelligence is in a really basic state now. They are not self-awareness about their existence. We are talking about automatization of non-value added processes to give more time to the people in the company to focus in the strategic priorities. For example, in an HR department is one thing that we are doing in SAP. We can create an artificial intelligence system that learns about the careers of the people that they want to apply to a company career site, and we can redirect them for the right job open position. That works very well because we are giving to the HR people more time to interview people, to qualify people, and these kind of things. Artificial intelligence is not more like now automatization of non-value added processes to give more time to the people to the strategic things. But again, blockchain, artificial intelligence, IoT, these kind of things, there are no more than words. We need to think always about the business value of these old technologies in the companies. And a couple of two more data that I feel that is going to be interesting to know. 83% of the C-level executives feels that the next 5 years are going to be more critical for their businesses than the last 50 years. But at the same time, and this is really interesting, only 3% of the C-level executives feels that they have this digital differentiation to be the leaders of their respective market. Come on, it's something like, I need to change, but I know that I'm not be able to change. And this is the same one. You cannot implement blockchain if you don't have the data to do that. You cannot implement artificial intelligence if you don't have the data to do that. It's like we say that the oil of the 21st century is the data. If the oil of the 21st century is the data, and we trust in this sentence, the motor of this 21st century is the artificial intelligence, is the blockchain. If we don't have oil, this motor is not going to work.
So of course the artificial intelligence it's a big issue because it could impact all possible level of the life, from business to culture to the normal daily life. We see how artificial intelligence is used in a good and bad way, of course. And
for example, just one real example of business value of artificial intelligence. In SAP we have one thing called predictive maintenance. That is one process that we implement in manufacturing company that is a system able to, using other technologies like IoT, to learn that one thing is going to be broken in the future and try to repair it before that thing is broken. And this machine can analyze, can buy these spare parts to this thing that is going to be broken in the future, and can call or to one maintenance guy to say, you need to go to this machine and repair it, because in the next 5 hours it's going to be broken. And we are saving a lot of money to the companies because the manufacturing doesn't stop.
Yeah.
But there are real business value for that. Not, how do you say, we are not thinking about, as I told you before, about Terminator or something like this. We need to think about the problem that we need to solve, or we want to solve, and how we can apply new technologies, or just a process.
There is, I think, also a very important social point from this perspective. So it means that artificial intelligence cannot substitute the use of human intelligence. That means we are in a society where young people become lazy and lazy. So the artificial intelligence So when there was the evolution of the automation of the industry, we said that people could do other things instead of doing things that could be automated. So we cannot say that artificial intelligence has to think because we can do other things instead of thinking. So this is a very, 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 I think, dangerous theme to be put over to C-level, to institution, to academy. Otherwise, there will be a really dangerous situation. So we will delegate any type of things to other systems, and they could go to the level, we saw it in many films also, to the level that we are managed from the artificial intelligence.
Just a quick thing about that is really, really important. Now I don't know one system that can be able to substitute a human. Okay, the artificial intelligence system can do processes more fast, they can analyze more information than us, they can relation information better than us, but the final decision, the click, is a human.
Yeah.
And in the next 5 years, it's going to be a human. I don't know. In the next 10 years, in the Caspian Week 2029, we are going to be here artificial intelligence better than me talking about artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I think related to it, it's absolutely true. Artificial intelligence is not there to substitute humans, but to enhance humans. Like Google doesn't make us not think, but just is an added access to make us have access to knowledge in an easier way. Very different thing from what you see with the search engines in the past, and what we see with artificial intelligence is the issue of bias. That a lot of knowledge that goes into artificial intelligence engines are actually biased because they are based on preconceived notions that people have that teach these machines, and that can be reinforced. So avoiding this bias is very important because it's often difficult to perceive it, and when it's there, and it has very great value. But this is also what we see in HR systems, for instance, that because you teach an AI system with the past, information from the past, and if in the past mainly men and people with certain skills have been hired, that will also be the advice of the artificial intelligence engine. So that is work that we're working on, and I think there's also in the WEF and Caspian Week a documentation online, quite a few, some interesting documentation about that. But also the combination with blockchain is therefore very interesting, because blockchain allows what we call zero knowledge proof. The way to be absolutely sure that something's true without having knowledge about it, but because everybody is working together in it, and that is something that can counteract bias. So AI and blockchain are very natural allies to reinforce each other. And perhaps a nice example for that is, and a real life example is, what we're working on at the moment is that you have critical infrastructure like power grids and communications networks, and they are of course combinations of internet of things, lots of AI in it to monitor all these things. Now together with blockchain you can make them incredibly resilient, because a blockchain is not dependent on a centralized point, but is decentralized, so you can't attack a blockchain and get down the grid. So this combination of having decentralized energy generation, blockchain, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence is going to give us an enormous advantage in the future to avoid a society that is so dependent on these technologies. Can you imagine if the electricity goes off and the telecommunications goes down here, and within an hour we are in chaos?
And without artificial intelligence too.
And without so this is what...
Unless they can autonomously produce the energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the key points. I mean, the convergence. I mean, coming back to the title of the panel, right? I mean, by blockchain, you cut off or cut out the middleman, and you have new self-learning systems and algorithms. And I think that's one of the key drivers why you have all these new technologies somehow in an exponential space or speed, coming together and creating a completely new system. So we're really talking about a completely new system without any middleman, with self-learning systems behind. So I think it will be a very exciting time.
But it's the combination of the system and the technologies, because without big data or a data lake and a structure of information in a data lake, you cannot be able to do artificial intelligence. If you are not able to recollect as much as data as possible with IoT, you are not be able to do big data. I don't know if you understand me. All the things are connected. We are not talking about independent silos. We are not talking about, no, we are going to implement an artificial intelligence process here or blockchain here. No. All the things are connected. And the most important challenges that in SAP we are facing when we went to a customer is something like, we want to implement blockchain. Yeah, but you are not be able to do that. You are managing Excel files. You are managing papers. Physical paper for all the information and data records that you have. You are not in that stage. We need to start thinking about how to try to
redesign.
And that's absolutely right. And also the title of this WEF forum at the moment is the fourth industrial revolution, right?
Yep.
And we're right in the middle of that. It's so difficult to see where the future is going when you're right in the middle of the change, right? But we can see some writing on the wall. We can see what you also mentioned, the diminished role of the middleman. And we see an incredible potential to erase effectiveness in the world. Blockchain technology and also artificial intelligence will bring down the level of administrative work in the world enormously. We will go to a much more efficient world than we ever had before, which is exactly what we need in a world that is growing towards 10 billion people, and that has to be fat and has to be clean and has to be not too hot for all of us. We need this technology to work together and become an integral part of human nature. It's not something that just tools that we use. No, internet is something that is part of humanity. We can't live without it anymore, right? Yeah. And all these technologies working together, artificial intelligence is the only way that we can manage interactions of tens of billions of people and the machines that are all working for them. So this is what we're facing at the moment and what we're bringing together.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, this big opportunity produced by all this, by the fusion, let's say, of the harmony of all these technologies, must be in a safe world. Yeah, I mean, so we must be sure that the artificial intelligence is working for us, that the IoT is not used from some other one, and the blockchain is safe, and so on and so on. So there is an enormous problem of security by design and continuous security check and continuous prevention and so on. And this is something that, especially in the IoT equipment, is not yet completely not yet implemented, and is very, very dangerous. If you think of a smart city, you have every 50 centimeter a plug in the net, in a way. So it's a vulnerability point, entry point for an attack. So the continuous test and enhance, it's really the base for the possibility of the development of our society. Of course, these technologies are also an opportunity to enhance the security. Now the question for Mr. Carlos Moreno from WISeKey. So how AI could enhance the cybersecurity, could help the cybersecurity?
Sure, thank you very much for the questions. Indeed, as Inigo said, the oil of artificial intelligence is the data. But this data must be trusted, must be trusted data. And this is the reason why an identity layer is required into such environment, mainly on the IoT environment as well for people. And with having a root of trust which is recognized, issuing identities for all those objects and all those people interacting with such environments, brings to have a capability to bring ecosystems which are trusted ecosystems, injecting and bringing data to Leonardo, to Watson, IBM Watson, or Microsoft, the data which is then processed by those AI engines. So actually, this is one of the main reasons why AI is very important into this infrastructure. This is true as well for blockchain, to protect the blockchain. Having an identity, and because the blockchain is a fabulous technology with the immutability of the data. One is injected on the database. This is immutable, is transparent, is bringing a lot of value. But we must control, with an identity layer, the people or the machines who are injecting this information within the blockchain. And this is the reason why we are implementing now a platform that is an identity layer for the blockchain in order to prevent such a kind of potential hacking and so on. More than this, and coming back again to the Internet of Things, we know that algorithms are very consuming a lot of power, IT power, and we cannot put an entire algorithm into a device by itself. But we are building a sub-algorithm in order to bring this intelligence at the device level, in order that preventing with the information processed by Leonardo or by IBM Watson, the object with his own intelligence and his own algorithm will be able to redirect or change its settings versus an attack that can happen on the market. So this is the reason, the main reason why AI is very important block into this, and we shouldn't be afraid from this technology.
It's just a comment about that. I'm completely agree with you. One of my machine learning teachers says that if you put, excuse me for the word, if you put seed in one part of the process, you are going to take seed decisions, because if you don't have the right data and the accurate data and the trust data, then the decisions that you are going to take, it could be the wrong one, because you are using bad information for data decision.
Yep. Any question? No.
My question here is on artificial intelligence. I'm heading the Artificial Intelligence Law Hub, Pavan Dugal from India. We are finding a hesitance by lawmakers to grant legality to AI, and also to walk in the direction of identifying the liability for AI. First week of December 2018, we saw in the International Space Station how an AI companion of the astronauts started misbehaving and had to be shut down. So I think I wanted to have the thought process, do we really require this legal recognition? What does industry thought leaders believe? Or do you think we can shut our eyes away? Because now increasingly AI will be used for cybersecurity breaches and for cybercrime. So in a scenario like this, how does attribution come forward? Thoughts of the panel. Thanks.
Yeah, I would like to thank you. That's a very good question. And of course, we're early stages still with AI, but generally it is used as a tool to enhance the decisions of whether it's lawmakers or medical staff or anything like that. So instead of handing over authority to an AI tool, you will look at the advice that the AI tool has and give your expert advice as a lawyer or as a doctor and say, I agree with this. And as confidence builds, you will go more blindly on that. Like you say, well, it's even more accurate than I usually am. So that could increase adaptation and adaptation of the tool. We're not there yet, but I would not be surprised that at some stage, like at the moment, email has become acceptable in court. Most courts accept email. 20 years ago, we would never have believed that that would be possible. You can use Google Maps and also all that sort of information in legal representation. Before, you would want to have information from legal sources and official sources to do that. So we see a change in behavior and the reliability of technology growing. So I think AI will come there too. Whether that's in 2 years or 10 years, I cannot say, but I have no doubt that we will grow there.
theoretically talking, there are 4 types. I'm not going to be technical in that case. There are 4 types of artificial intelligence. The first one is just, I'm going to teach to one machine to read this information and to take this decision, okay? Do you remember the Kasparov versus Deep Blue? That one, the type 1, okay? Now we are working with the type 2, that is a little bit more tricky. It's able to learn and to take the decision automatically, but it's the human that teaches to the machine to do all these things. The type 3, that is a collaboration one, that the machine learning, the artificial intelligence collaborating together. And the type 4, that is the self-awareness one, that is able to learn that is a machine that doesn't exist yet.
Singularity.
Exactly.
Perhaps it's good this way. So I think that even with the maximum level of new technologies and artificial intelligence, we cannot delegate. I said before, but I said it more straight now. So I'm dealing also with military conferences and so on, and I'm sure that also in that field we can use, in the state level defense, we can use new technology, artificial intelligence, intelligence system, able to respond automatically, whatever you want. But at the end, I need to have humans that have only the human can have the perception and the capacity of differentiating the thing and understanding that is the time to switch off the AI. So I think there must be, at the end, a normal soldier with a grenade in order to disrupt the new technology. So this is the last defense that the human in 100 years, 50 years, we don't know, must, at the end, must have the capability to stop something that is not working anymore for them. Before the 4th level.
I agree what you're saying. There's, however, human intelligence is also becoming something else than we've seen before. If you think about the intelligence of a beehive or of an ant's nest, it's not the individual ant that is intelligent, it is the combination of everything together. Sorry?
The collective one.
The collective one, yeah. And that is exactly, and that is what we're now seeing also with technologies like blockchain, that there is going to be more like a collective intelligence. We are trusting, we're taking decisions as a community of parties in a blockchain. There is not one person taking the decision, it's the beehive, it's the community doing that. And that creates another level of human consciousness and human intelligence, and that is where AI comes in. So I don't believe that AI is, in the near future, going to supersede human intelligence. It's going to adjust and help that beehive to do that. So this is something we're going into.
For that, I think, and we can ask also the contribution of the academic here, because they are more on the field, that we need really a cyber education. So people at any level, I can say, from the state level, governmental people, military people, C-level in the companies, normal employees, let's say, without any offense, students, and any kind of people, we must educate to this change. Otherwise, we are not really prepared.
Look at this. Socially talking, there are a lot of movements, political movements, that says that we need to fight against the machines because they are going to put off our work and these kind of things. But we need to think about it. The jobs, they are like the energy. They don't disappear, they only transform. For example, in the future, there are a lot of theories about the future of the work is going to be like a U. We are going to have in one corner a specific group of very qualified workers that they are going to make these machines. And in the other side, we are going to have a very low qualified workers, like waiters and these kind of things, that, come on, it's not necessary to automatize that work because it's more cheap to have that one than to create a robot that is able to do the same task. And at the same time, there are the kind of jobs that they need these people, this human touch. Psychologists, people that take care from our old people. I feel that these kind of things is really difficult to automatize now and in the near future. I don't know, again, it's going to happen in the future, but...
Yeah, things are changing very fast. I have a robot at home that cleans the house, and I can use a Google Home to make it operate. I can do it now from this place.
But come on, when you are in this, do you like your Roomba take care from you, or you prefer your wife or something like this take care from you?
My wife wanted that Roomba, I tell you that.
Okay, so our time is finished. I thanks everybody. I hope it was just some pills for you, but to go a step ahead in your knowledge on these technologies and this, let's say, social evolution that we are having. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.